Hello guys, welcome to the another video. Today we are going to make this simple animated form, login form. You can see that when I focus a field, there is two things actually happening. The level, you can see that it's going up here, and there is a new border. If I unfocused, the border is gone and the level is in its own place. So if I come again here and let's give it a value, and if there is a value, and if I unfocus the field, so if I unfocus, you can see that the border is gone but the name is still, so the level is still in the higher position. If there is nothing, it will come back automatically. So in this video I will create this form, and also you can see that it's very responsive form. So we will make it with simple HTML, CSS and a little bit of JavaScript. So no more talk, let's dive into the code. So as you can see that I'm in my HTML file, and here is my CSS and JavaScript file. And in my CSS I already added Google fonts, and in the body I applied the fonts, which is Montserrat. So let's create a boilerplate and give it a title, and in the body let's create a div with the class of container, and in this div I'll create another div with a class of form, and here I will create the form, and we don't need any action. And here let's create a div with the class of field, and for the first field it will be an input. So and text type is good, because for the first field I will add username, so text type is the good for the username. So let's create the label. Now here you can see that in the label there is an attribute called for. So for that we need to create an ID in the input. So ID will be the name, and you can see that I used the name for the ID. So for the label I also need to use the same name, and here will be the username. And after that let's create another div with, sorry, not div, let's get a span with the class of border. And that's all for the first field. So we can duplicate it for the next field, and here you can see that for the next field the type will be the password. So for the ID I will use pass, and for the for, in the label attribute I will use pass again, and the label will be password. And that's it for the second field. So after that let's create another button for the submit, and here the type will be the submit, and let's give it a value of send. And that's it for the HTML. So let's open it with the live server, and here it is. You can see that all of our username, password and send button. So first of all let's link the HTML file with CSS style sheet. So let's go to the style.css. So before that let's also link the JavaScript file. So script, here will be source and app.js. So let's go to the style.css file, and here first of all let's remove all the unwanted padding and margin, and margin 0. So for after that, let's go to the container. So there is the container. In the container, the height will be 100 vh and width will be 100%. And after that, let's take the all content in the middle. So what I can do is display flex and justify content center and align items center. So now you can see that all the content is in center. So let's also give it a background color RGB, RGB 13, 6 and 51. Now you can see that that's the background, and here is our file name. So for now, let's make it in comment because we can't see our content very well now. We will make it later. So after that, let's go to the form div and give some style. Width will be the 400% pixel, and background color will be the white, and padding, let's give it some padding of 150 pixel and 30 pixel. And you can see that in the padding 150 pixel for the top and bottom and 30 pixel for the left and right. So after that, let's go to the input. So not the class, it's the HTML tag. So for the input, so for each input we will use height 30 pixel and width will be 100% and border none. So there will be no default border. If I save, now you can see that you can't see any border. And after that, let's give it some padding of 10 pixel and bottom will be one pixel. So not 1 pixel actually, let's give it a 0.5 pixel, solid and black. So if I save, now you can see that there is a black border in the bottom. So let's create also a transition. Because we will animate something in later. Once again is all, and after that, let's go to the field. Now what I need to do is we need to position it in the relative, because we want the label position of absolute, so that we need to position the parents relative. So after that, let's say that bottom will be the after that, let's create the display will be the flex, and justify content will be the center, and align items will be the center. And also let's create some margin so that each field has some room between them. So margin will be the 25 pixel up and down, means top and bottom, and a 0 for the left and right. Now you can see that they have some more margin between them. So after that, let's go to the border. So you can see that we took this span with a class of border extra, and in this span there is nothing actually. Okay, so let's create the border. So the position will be the absolute, and also what you need to do is bottom 0 because we want those border in this bottom. Actually it will be the animated border and this will be the static border. There will be kind of border. So let's create this animated border. So the bottom will be 0 and left will be also 0 and width will be 100% and transform, let's say scale 0. We'll make it a scale 0 and in the later when we will animate it will make 1. So for now let's get 1 and I will make it 0 in later. So transform origin will be the center and height will be 3 pixel. So after that let's create a background color. So let's copy the background color from here is the background color, RGB color, and also transition 0.4 second is in out all, and you can see that here is the border. And if I make it 0 scale, now you can see that it's scaled 0. If I make it 0.5, now you can see that it's covering only half of the background. So that's it. So in the animate I will make it 1. So for now let's make it 0 so we can't see it. So after that let's go to the for the level. So level, so for each level the position will be the absolute because we want the username or password the level in here, so it will be the absolute position of the field, the position absolute. And let's get the left will be the about 10 pixel and let's get transition 0.5 second is all. Now you can see that it's in place, though it's not what we wanted now, so we will make it in future. So after that, now you can see that when I focus the input there is a outline. You can see that the border with a blue color, so we need to remove it. So how can we remove it? So it's very simple. So let's go to the input, and when we focus the input the outline will be 0, so that will remove it. So now you can see that when I focus it there is no outline. So after that let's go for the button. Button. So for the button what I can do is let's create some padding, 10 pixel for the top and bottom and 35 pixel for the left and right, and width will be the 100% and background will be RGB color. So copy the RGB color and it will be the background. You can see that here it is the background. So border will be the none and there is no border, and font size will be about 20 pixel and text transform uppercase or capitalize. So let's give it uppercase, and letter spacing will be about 2 pixel and transition, the transition will be about 0.7 second is all. Why I am taking here a transition? Because I will animate the level. Here you can see that. So let's animate it on hover. So button on hover. So there will be a background change. So let's create the background and also copy the RGB color, paste it here, and also letter spacing will be the 4 pixel. So if I save, now you can see that the animation is with our transition 0.7 second and it's looking nice. So also what I can do is the cursor will be the pointer. Yeah, that's it. So that's it for the style. So let's create the animation for the field. So for that we need to go to our JavaScript. We need to write some JavaScript here. So for the JavaScript, let's create a variable first called fields, and here we'll store all the field. So document dot query selector all, and the query will be the class field. And if I console log, field, and come to the console here, so there is a error in line 2. Sorry, it's fields, not field. Now you can see that there is a two node list. We have these two fields stored in our fields variable. So what I need to do, we need to make a loop, and each loop we will add the event listener in these fields. So let's create the loop. So let I equal 0 and I less than fields dot length and I plus plus. And what I can say is fields I dot first element child dot add event listener, and the event type will be the focus. And after that, let's create a function. We'll create an arrow function. So here you will add the, so here we will add a class in this level which will make this level a little bit higher here. So let's add the class fields I dot, so query selector, we need to add the level and add class list, and dot add, we need to add a class list called top. And if I inspect now, so let's go to the first field here, and if I see the label, notice the label, there is no class, and when I focus, there is the class. So we added this class top by the JavaScript. Now you can see that there is nothing is happening. So for that we need to add some style. So say that level with a class of top, it will have a style of transform, translate y and minus 20 pixel. Now it will animate. And if I so if I refresh, and you can see that if I focus, there is animation. If I focus, there is animation. So let's do the second part, which is if I unfocus the field, the name will remain in the first place, means here. So let's do it. So you can see that after that you will add another event listener as same as it is. first one. So copy this and paste it here, but this time what we will say is we will change the event, which will be the blur. Blur means unfocus. So if I unfocus the field, the event type will be the blur, and here I want to remove the class, which is the remove. So if I focus it, now the top class is added. So if I unfocus or blur it, the top class will be removed. So if I unfocus it, the top class is removed. So we can see it from our inspect. Now if you notice this one, there is no class. You can see that class is nothing. So if I focus, now you can see that there is a class of focus, sorry, class of top. And if I unfocus it, now you can see that the top class is removed. So it's working fine. So let's say if there is a value, now it's looking not nice. So what I can do is, so if there is any value, the label will remain in the top. If there is nothing like that, so it will come back. So how can we do that? We can do it very easily. So we'll add a if else statement. So for the condition, what we can say is, in the fields I dot first element child, which is input, first element child dot value dot length is smaller or equals to 0. So what is mean smaller or equals to 0? We can say that if there is value and the value length is greater than 0, that means there is a value, and if the value length is 0 or less than 0, there will be nothing, there is nothing. So that's how we can identify if there is any value or not. So you can see that we are focusing the first element child, which is the input, and here not value, we want only the value. So here we are saying that if the child value length is smaller or equals to 0, that means there is nothing. When there is nothing, we want the, so when there is nothing, we want to remove the top value so that it come back. And when if there is any value, means if there is else, we don't need to do anything. So in this case we don't need else. So if I save, now you can see that. So if there is any value, say that name, so it will not come back because it's not returning true for this condition, because there is value length is more than 1 or 0. So that's how we can fix it. So if I save that, there is a password and not, so now you can see that the password is here and now level is not coming back. So that's how we can. So first of all, what you need to do is in this focus blur, so when we focus the field, there will be a blue border. So let's go to the focus event listener, and here what you can do is fields I dot query selector. So for the query selector, we will add the border and dot style dot transform scale. Scale will be the 1. So it's not what dial, so it will be the style. I save. Now you can see that the border is coming, but there is another problem. We need to remove it when we unfocus it. So we have this blur even lesser, so we can do that. So we can copy this one and paste it here, and for instead of style scale 0, we can say that the scale will be. Now you can see that when we focus, the scale of the border is 1, and when we unfocus or blur, the scale of the border is 0. Now you can see that the origin means the start point of this animation is in center, because in the border, if I come here, in the border you can see that transform origin I used center. If I use left, now if I focus, it's started from the left. If I say right, it will start from the right. Okay, so that's it. So I will keep it in the left, so it's looking better. So also what I can do is we can uncomment this, so now it's looking much better. This is the container background which is uncommented now. So that's the login form with some animation which you can see in many website, and now you can use it in your own website, and you can also see that it's very responsive. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe the channel if you want more this kind of video. So also let me know what kind of video you want next, and I will see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye, Khuda Hafiz.